What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about the average height for quarterbacks based on their age. So we're going to go through ages all the way from 9 to 16, so very, very young youth ball, all the way up till high school ball. And then at the end of the video, we're going to talk about 3 things that you can improve on if you are a shorter and undersized quarterback. Now, fellas, is height the most important thing at the quarterback position? No, but it definitely can help you, right? Like if you're a quarterback and you're really, really undersized, it's going to be tough to be able to stand out to guys, right? Height is one of those things that you cannot control, but what you can control as a quarterback is the work that you put in certain areas of your game to make sure that you're the best passer on the field and the best actual quarterback on the field. Height doesn't make you a good quarterback, it can only help you out. But there is something called an eye test that a lot of college coaches, high school coaches look at when they're evaluating talent, and especially at the quarterback position. The stigma around short quarterbacks is, oh, you're not going to be able to see over the line. We're going to talk about, if you're on the underside side of things, like I said at the end of this video, some things that you can improve on to help you stand out amongst the trees that play the quarterback position. But we'll talk about some averages to just let you know where you're at. We work with probably over 600 plus quarterbacks every single year, so this data is gathered from just generally what we see and who we work with. So for ages 9, we're going to start with age 9. I know that's very young, and ages 9 to 12, guys, probably haven't hit puberty yet. You probably haven't hit a growth spurt yet, so I wouldn't worry too much about it, but it's still good to kind of know where you stack up amongst other quarterbacks, especially if you live in maybe a small town or across the country and you're not sure, right? So I would say around 5'2" is an average height for like a 9-year-old quarterback. For 10-year-old quarterbacks, I would say like 5'3". 11-year-old quarterbacks, probably like 5'4", and then for 12-year-old quarterbacks, I'd probably say like 5'6". That's probably generally a good gauge. Now, for like a 13-year-old quarterback, I would say probably around like 5'8" is probably a good gauge for you before you get into high school. So that's at like 7th, 8th grade, right before you get to high school. Now, again, some of you haven't hit puberty yet, but that's totally fine. You guys will grow, especially if you have taller parents, but that's generally where you want to be in terms of height as a quarterback. Now, before we get into some high school ages, you guys, if you are a quarterback watching this and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this offseason, we are traveling out to 15 different cities across the entire country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So guys, if you want some more information on how you can sign up for that, go to that very first link in the description below. That is where you can get access. The next city that we're coming out to is San Francisco, California. Then we'll be heading out to Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Columbia, South Carolina, Seattle, Washington, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Then we'll be heading out to Nashville, Tennessee, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Then after that, we'll be coming out to Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia. Then we'll be heading out to Denver, Colorado. Then after Denver, we'll be coming out to Boston, Massachusetts. Then Columbus, Ohio. Then finishing it off in Salt Lake City and Los Angeles, California. So guys, you want some more information, very first link in that description below. Generally, we opened up our signups very, very early this year because all of our camps last year sold out 3 to 4 months in advance. So guys, make sure you take advantage of the fact that we have open spots now, as in a couple months our camps will start to sell out. So again, guys, very first link in that description below. We would love to see you there. Now, let's talk about high school quarterbacks. So I would say if you're like 14, so a freshman in high school, I would say the average height is probably like 5'9", 5'9 and a half. That's like average. As a quarterback, like you get a lot of freshmen who maybe hold back and reclass, and they're like 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2". I've seen that. I live in Southern California where every single 8th grade quarterback, they're probably going to hold back and they'll go into their freshman year as 15. They're going to be turning 16, right? So that's just kind of how it goes. It's what you're going to be stacked up against. But I would say average for a true 14-year-old freshman is probably around like 5'9", 5'9 and a half. Now let's talk about 15 years old. So if you're like a sophomore, I would say probably like 5'11". That's generally average. Listen, I didn't even crack 5'11". I'm 5'10". So like, again, I understand if you're undersized, we're going to talk about some areas that you can improve in a second. Now, if you're 16, I would say probably like 6 foot is average. And then if you're like 17, 18, 6'2" is probably average if you're on the junior, senior side of things in high school. So again, some of you might not be there. That's totally fine, guys. 6'2" is a pretty big dude. Like that's average, but that's a pretty big guy. And at the quarterback position, generally it's taller players. That's generally guys who could throw the ball well and are tall are probably going to play quarterback and somewhat athletic. Now, if you're not at these averages, is it the end of the world? Are you doomed? Should you give up on quarterback? No, I don't think so. What I think is you need to improve in 3 specific areas of your game. Number 1 is going to be quick release. So like the knock on shorter guys, I can't see over the O-line. So if you're going to play as a shorter quarterback, there's going to be a lot of situations where you got to take a snap, 1 step, and get the ball out of your hands. So you have to make sure that you have a quick release. Work on getting your front foot down fast, your hips going fast, your arm speed going fast. All those things can help you get the ball out of your hands, okay? Number 2, you got to have great extend play ability. And take it from me, guys, I was a short quarterback. On every single drop back, I wouldn't just sit there. Like, I would drop back and I'd probably start to move as I drop because I'm trying to create throwing lanes in between the offensive line so I could see. If you just stand there, you're not gonna be able to see. And that's honestly, if your linemen are all like 6'3" and you're a 6-foot quarterback, you'd be considered short. You're not gonna be able to see over those 6'3" guys. So you have to be able to buy time with your feet, and you gotta get really good throwing on the run, because there's gonna be times where you gotta get out of the pocket because you just simply can't see. You never wanna put blind faith in your throws and just throw when you can't see. Then last but not least, football IQ. Being able to read defenses. If you understand how to read defenses and know where to go with the ball, that makes your decision-making process faster, and that actually will help you speed up your release and your ultimate throws. Now, that takes repetition. You got to understand coverages, you got to understand offensive plays. If you guys want to improve in that area, just post in the comment section below, and I could send you some videos that we have on our website that will help you improve your reading defenses ability. So guys, just post in the comment section below, say you want to improve at reading defenses, and I'll send that right over to you. But guys, if you work on those things as a shorter quarterback, don't think it's the end of the world if you're not at these average heights.